So in this video, I'm going to be talking about the power of building connections and relationships with people. And I really have a personal story to share with you. This is from my boarding school. So at the age of 9, I was sent to a boarding school to live by myself with 60 other students in my house. When you go to a boarding school, you are assigned a house that you belong to. It's a living space that you share with other 60 kids. And so I was there, and and in my first year, me and one of my best friends, we were getting very popular. Towards the end of the year, we were starting to build connections. We were becoming influential. And the guy that had come a year before us in the school, he was the powerhouse there in that particular house. And he did not like the fact that we were becoming more influential and powerful. And one day, we went to a football game. In the evening, we would go to play in the field, football. And by the time me and my best friend, we came back to the house, this guy had influenced everybody against both of us. So he conspired, he created a story around us, some negative story, and he aligned 30 plus people. And the moment I came in, one of my other friends came to me and said that they are going to beat you and your best friend today. They're going to beat the shit out of you. And when you have a conflict with the people in your house, that means you are going to have a very turbulent time in the school. Because these are not people that you just go to school with and you come back home. No, these are the people that you live with, that you sleep next to, and that you have cupboards next to. I mean, you are around these people all the time. So it's not the day school situation where you go to school and you come back home and the problems are gone. No, you have to go. You are in that environment and you are living with these people who can be very violent at times. There were incidences of people's nose being broken, head being, smashed, where the blood is coming out. So it was a pretty violent environment for a child. And I just found myself in that position. And so I had a very short amount of time to act, because if you don't resist, this guy is going to end up bullying you for the years to come. And I would establish my weakness for all the years I am in school. And I would be picked on, controlled by other people, and harmed by other people. And all the resources, my parents would come and give me food. All of it would be taken away, and all kinds of stuff I would have to face if I don't face this man. But this guy was not only physically powerful, his family was rich, so he had leverage on the teachers. Because his family was rich, he would often bring gadgets and resources into the school. Because of that, he had leverage on all the students there. And I came from a middle-class family, and my best friend didn't also have the kind of leverage that this kid had. And people knew him much before than both of us. So he aligned everybody, and it was around 5 o'clock, and he came to us, and the whole group stood in front of both of us, and they started to call names. That year my father passed away, and they started to, one of my friends started to make fun of that your, father passed away, and he started to make fun of that, and they started to push us, both of us, in the dorm, and they started to really criticize and started calling us names and started to really overpower us. And both of us got really scared. And the more scared we got, the tighter we got with each other. Thankfully, it wasn't enough time in the schedule for them to do any serious harm to us, because the teachers, we had, in the evening time, it was studying time. So we had to quickly take shower and go to the study. So nothing happened there. But we had a couple of hours to come up with a strategy, a plan. So me and my friend, we sat down with each other and we were like, what the hell, what are we going to do? Because this guy, it's not just one person, it's a whole group, and they would stop talking to us. They would abandon us from all the resources. They would boycott us and they would beat us. When we are sleeping in the night, they would be throwing slippers and shoes at us. I mean, they could do so many things. They could steal things from our cupboard, and he tried to even open and break the lock of our cupboard and try to take things. So all kinds of nasty scenarios were possible. And we were shit scared. And so here is what we did. We said, you know what? Let's talk to one of our friends. His name was Gajendra. I still remember. And this guy was really thin and really short also. So he wasn't physically very strong. But he took care of everybody. Anytime he had any food, he would share it. Anytime someone had a problem, he would enter and he would create fairness and justice. And he belonged to a different house. And that house also had around 60 people, 60 kids. So this guy had a complete hold of that whole space. He was very powerful, but he had good kind of power. He would use his power to serve others, to create fairness and justice. So we liked him. He was in our class, and we went to him during dinner time. And we shared our problem with him, and we said, this is what's happening with us. What do we do? We used to call him Kajju. So we said, Kajju, what do we do? This is what they're doing to us. And this man, in a couple of minutes, he sent one of his friends. He says, go inside our house and call all the 60 students outside and tell them that Gajju is calling. So dinner was over. We were moving towards the house, and after dinner you have free time. And this free time would have been used to dominate and control us and bully us and beat us and insult our family. These kids even know the names of our parents, and they would insult using the names and create all kinds of scenarios. And stories and name calling, all of that. So we wanted to make sure that just after dinner, we have a solution. So Gajju sends this guy and he says, call everybody out, out of the house. And you have to send a message. So during dinner, he sent a message, everybody, meet outside, and whoever is left, everybody come out. So within a couple of minutes, he gathered the entire house. I think it was around 30, 40 people who got gathered there. And all of those kids were behind this guy. And he says, you don't worry about anything. I have got your back. And you have the support of all of these people. And they started to roar, the kids. That yes, we have, Prithvi and Jagran support. Anybody who does anything to them, is our enemy, and we're going to go after them, And this is the time when the whole crowd was gathered. The other guy, the bully, he was coming with his little group, and he was walking, and he saw the power that we had just acquired in a couple of minutes, just by sharing our problems with the right guy who had the lot of control and power. And these guys got really scared. And this entire group started to shout at these other kids from our house who were trying to dominate us. And long story short, it worked like a charm. They got scared because whatever happens to us, he says, whatever happens to you tonight, take it. It's okay. If they hit you, whatever happens, it's all right. If shit has to go down, it'll go down. But next day, in the school time, when all the houses come together, we will beat the shit out of him and he will never forget it. So don't worry. Whatever happens tonight, just sleep somehow. If you can fight back, the next day, all of these people will go after them. So we were like, okay, all we have to do is spend this night and we will teach him a lesson. We go inside and this guy, he had completely lost his power. We had managed to disrupt his physical power, his political power, and all the leverage he had. And he just did not have the same type of command that he was enforcing before that. And he just, grabbed the collar and he said, I can beat you if I want to, but I'm not going to do it. Okay? So, and he left and he, it was all peace and we slept. And nothing happened. So he realized the consequences that he would have to face. And really the lesson here is the power of connection. We didn't have to use physical strength. We used the strength of human connection, relationships. And that day I understood that physical strength, human connection is way more important than physical strength. Political power is way more important than, being physically strong. And since that time, I always remembered to have enough connections in my network. And this is the lesson that I now use even in my business life, that even though you don't have the power, even though you don't have the resources, somehow you can make that connection with the right individual. Just one connection. And one guy was well connected with many others. Just that connection with one guy can open up so many opportunities for you. And this is what happened even in my company. When I was meeting these people, these high-profile executives, I was opening up so many opportunities that I wasn't even aware of, how things would happen in my life. So that's the lesson here. Make connections with people in positions of power, and your life will change forever. And your position will change forever. And you would find yourself in a position where you can overpower the person who's overpowering you. So that's the lesson there. I'll talk to you soon.